I'm not dependent on punch power, you know. You know, it takes a lot more than that to be a great fighter. A lot more than that to be a great fighter. So there's various ways I'll win. But I got the fighter spirit, and that's how I'll go in there and break him down with my spirit.
After this.
But he can't, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he's not even equipped to fight this dude. He's not. It's going to have to be a bunch of stuff in there. Joshua will punish this man.
Impossible for somebody like Anthony Joshua, who is so big and so strong, to even think he's going to take it easy. Because even if he tries to take it easy, he's so powerful, so strong that even those punches that are being easy are still going to hurt.
Anthony Joshua cautioned Jake Paul during the press conference, stating that Paul is unrealistic for believing he can defeat him. He further mentioned that he accepted this matchup primarily for financial reasons, viewing it as a business choice, and emphasized that once inside the ring, he remains the clearly superior competitor, without any doubt.
I deliver what I was supposed to deliver years ago. I deliver what they ran from. I deliver what he asked for $50 million for. I'm gonna give him a $50 million knockout.
I honestly listen to what people say sometimes. They're avoided, this person's running. I honestly think some people are deluded. Really, I do think that they've got some sort of a long-term concussion, because no one's running. In terms of 50 million, I'm a businessman. If there was 50 million on the table.
Chris Algieri states that the bout gives Anthony Joshua an ideal chance to step back into the ring. After experiencing a stretch of inactivity since his previous defeat, Joshua can treat this contest as a platform to restore confidence and recover competitive rhythm. The event allows him to secure a sizable payday while maintaining limited risk, functioning almost as a structured sparring scenario. Algieri notes that Joshua gains financially, mentally, and physically, making this matchup a calculated option for resurgence.
What are we talking here? Like, it's gonna be an exhibition? No, it's a fight. You're a heavyweight. You're calling out heavyweights. You're calling out a heavyweight. You're calling out Anthony Joshua, former world champion. You're calling him out on short notice. It's a fight. You're gonna wear 10-ounce gloves and you're gonna fight 10 rounds, and that's what it is. I don't understand any idea of anything else. Oh, it's gonna be 8 twos. Is it gonna be 15-ounce gloves? What the hell are we doing? This is boxing. You want to fight a real guy? You're fighting a real guy, which I am very respectful, and I respect the hell out of Jake Paul if he does step in the ring with Anthony Joshua, no matter what happens. Kid's got balls of steel, and I applaud you.
Well, the reason I say we don't know yet because Jake Paul has fought in it. His last fight with Gervonta Davis was going to be an exhibition. They had to do that because of the weight difference. This is still a weight difference here. I mean, Anthony
No, there's not. No, it's not. It's heavyweight. It's the same weight class.
Well, what do you consider Jake Paul? Cruiserweight or a heavyweight?
Heavyweight. How much did he weigh his last fight?
He's fought at cruiserweight. He's also fought at heavyweight. Against Tyson was at heavyweight.
What was his last fight? He's a cruiser. He's a heavyweight.
What was
he
his
was
last
too.
fight?
It was
his last fight was at cruiser against Chavez. Whatever, you know what I mean? Like the reason Gervonta Davis fight.
He fought Chavez after Tyson. I guess Tyson was that long ago. Wow.
That was a year ago. This week, I was looking at my Instagram memories. I was in Dallas, Texas, getting ready for me pooping my pants on Netflix. That was about a year ago. Exhibition. These are questions that are asked. These are questions that are attached to.
Eddie Hearn mentions that Anthony Joshua is genuinely interested in a fight with Jake Paul, yet the team must handle everything carefully because of Paul's unpredictable tendencies. He explains that Jake often selects an opponent and later cancels or postpones bouts unexpectedly, creating difficulties for preparation and planning. Due to this, Joshua's camp stays alert for sudden adjustments while continuing focused training and strategy. Hearn adds that if Paul truly commits to the match, it could become a major financial event for Joshua, potentially ranking among the biggest earnings of his career. At the same time, the promoter underlines the need to balance anticipation with caution, ensuring Joshua benefits from the opportunity without unnecessary interference or confusion. His analysis points towards staying patient and thoroughly prepared. Because of Jake Paul's uncertain behavior, the situation requires thoughtful oversight as the goal is securing the fight while protecting Joshua's career and maximizing the possible rewards.
Jake Paul news seemed to come to a surprise for many. How close are we to making that fight, Eddie?
Not that close. I mean, there are conversations. There's a lot of hurdles to overcome. But if he's serious about the fight and if it can get made, there's a very good chance we'll do it.
Is it on Netflix, and what did DAZN have to say of the fact that it might?
One of the hurdles to overcome. But we were going to have an 8-round run out in December. Just so happens it might be against Jake Paul.
Have you spoke to Nikisa? I know you're not friends with him. What are the conversations you've had?
That's who we're talking about, you know. And if they're serious and if it's real, there's a good chance. But listen, we could wake up tomorrow and he's announced another opponent and he just used AJ's name for clout. Listen, I have to respect him if he takes the fight. But who knows?
What do you think Dana White will make of this fight?
I mean, he did Mayweather against McGregor. He doesn't like Jake Paul. I really couldn't care less what he thinks about the fight. AJ's going to make close to or around a career high payday, and we'll take every...
Paulie Malignaggi stresses that Anthony Joshua will treat the matchup with absolute dedication, even if it carries the label of an exhibition. He notes that throughout his entire career, Joshua has never taken any challenger lightly, and entering the ring means applying full concentration, strength, and refined technique. Malignaggi explains that Joshua's discipline, timing, and tactical understanding enable him to spot openings quickly and punish errors with precision. Ryan Garcia agrees with this perspective, adding that even if Joshua chooses to control his output, his inherent power and accuracy still make his shots extremely dangerous. These shared viewpoints highlight that Jake Paul faces a real physical threat, and the contest cannot be dismissed regardless of how it is marketed or promoted for entertainment. They emphasize that Joshua's background fighting elite heavyweights equips him to dictate the tempo, manage distance, and manage the overall flow of the contest. Analysts conclude that Paul must display intelligence and durability because Joshua's technique and force create a situation where any lapse may lead to severe repercussions. The discussion confirms that the matchup requires full seriousness, respect, and proper preparation from both participants.
The bag now. And if you listen to this, it's definitely out of the bag.
Yeah, Fight for 84, big boxing movie that's hitting Netflix soon about the Olympic 84 team starring Jamie Foxx and Chris Algieri.
I'm not starring in anything, but whatever. Yeah, no, I got a credit. I'm in it. I got some lines. So
That's amazing. That is so cool. I mean, this couldn't get any cooler. You're now in the movie, which is absolutely absurd.
yeah,
What a day.
Hopefully,
What a life.
Hopefully, maybe there'll be more of this. Who knows? Who knows?
I think it's just the beginning. I think this podcast is numbered. Our days are numbered.
No way.
Let's
I'm
go on
never
Hollywood.
letting this go, Dan. This is. I'm a ride or die.
I hope you get so big and become such a big actor that you are like delaying production because you have to film our podcast in your trailer.
Chris is in his trailer. Wait, he's got to finish his podcast with Dan.
They're like, who's Dan? Johnny Drama style.
Yeah, love it. Yeah, just
When he was on the set,
total
5
diva,
pounds.
total diva in every way possible.
Yes. Like we said, this episode is brought to you by PPV.com. December 6th, we're going to see Pitbull Cruz versus Lamont Roach. And guess what? We're going to talk to Lamont Roach on this episode. I caught up with Lamont and to get his thoughts on the fight with Pitbull, to get his thoughts on Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua, which we're going to get to in a second, to get his thoughts on 140, potentially fighting at 135. That's coming up in just a little bit with Lamont Roach. Don't forget to order that fight with us at ppv.com and all the good stuff that comes along with that. That's December 6th. Lamont Roach is an awesome interview. Great guy.
Awesome guy. Forget the interview. He's just a good dude. I told you to tell him what's up. You probably did.
He still what's up. He goes, where is he? I said, he's on a movie set. He goes, oh yeah, he's got those movie star looks.
See, that's what I get. But yeah, no, he's a good dude. We see him. He trains down in Florida now. He's over at the Pro Box TV training facility, so we get to see him down there training. He's whipping on all the guys over there. But good people, good dude. Good. His dad's awesome. His brother Jordan's great. He's another one to look out for. I think is he a flyweight? I think he's a flyweight coming up, or a bantamweight. But yeah, great family, good boxing family, great boxing heritage.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that mega card. Big card, December 6th, and he's the headliner. So we're going to get to him in a second. Some big news broke. Shocking news. According to Ring Magazine, Anthony Joshua is going to step in for Gervonta Davis and fight Jake Paul. We don't know yet if it's an exhibition. We don't know yet the rules set. We don't know the date. These are preliminary talks that are ongoing. Yes, I work for MVP.
Dave Allen challenges the belief that Anthony Joshua should stay away from a fight with Jake Paul just because the pairing seems unusual or geared toward entertainment. He argues that Joshua remains in peak athletic condition, and unlike older retired boxers who lose sharpness or strength, Joshua still possesses every attribute needed to dominate inside the ring. Allen points out that many fans misread the seriousness of such contests, seeing them purely as spectacles rather than genuine competition. However, Joshua's physicality, skill, and experience make him extremely dangerous for anyone standing across from him. The commentary emphasizes that this encounter is not simply about publicity or performance value. Joshua's preparation and ring knowledge allow him to control and dictate any fight. Allen also focuses on the disconnect between public perception and the actual danger involved, cautioning that casual viewers might underestimate the risks Jake Paul must face. The matchup requires full seriousness, discipline, and recognition of Joshua's elite capabilities, regardless of any surrounding hype or promotional framing attached to it.
Of it was probably shouldn't be licensed, but Florida are a very kind of easy commission to get. Yeah, it'd be called an exhibition.
It will be an exhibition.
It probably would be called an exhibition.
What's the point?
For me, as long as that fight you mentioned just now, Spencer, as long as that roadmap is there and it's signed, that he fights an interim guy as a warm-up afterwards and fights Tyson Fury next year, and Fury's on board, I'm great with it. Otherwise, I do think his legacy's damaged if his last fight is with Jake Paul.
An exhibition is just a waste of time. They're for retired fighters. For retired fighters, it's a load of rubbish.
Yeah, listen, the guy's still in his athletic prime. I personally don't see the reason why they can't just do the Tyson Fury fight. Why do we need interims?
Well, we all want that.
Yeah, but why do we need interims? Why do we need warm-ups? We're talking about two experienced guys who've been the best, as you just said, of the last 10, 20 years. Let's get the fight on.
It's as ridiculous as Gervonta Davis going in with him, basically, isn't it, with Jake Paul,
Quite
frankly.
no different mindsets. And what, again, listening to Eddie today and what he was saying, the damage that Anthony Joshua has suffered mentally, not physically, because physically he's still all there, but mentally against Daniel Dubois, he needs to go through that process again. And they said, and that's just the whole getting your hands wrapped up, doing it, whether it's Jake Paul, whether it's a top 100 fighter, you go, that's the way Anthony Joshua ticks. He needs that before going into the... All roads lead to Fury, right? We all know that. Whether Fury...
Analysts observe that Jake Paul is entering a matchup with someone closer to his own level regarding current activity, unlike many older or previously retired fighters he has confronted. While this creates the challenge fans have been waiting for, it also raises the physical dangers for Paul. Commentators emphasize that safety remains a major concern because Joshua's power, technique, and background surpass anything Paul has previously experienced. The fight may be fair competitively, yet it carries serious risks in terms of possible physical impact.
Maybe even bigger than the Mike Tyson fight. It's hard to say really. Tyson was a big name, but it's going to do numbers regardless because Joshua is a big name and then people are going to be tuning in to see Jake Paul get knocked out. Right now, Eddie Hearn talks about Jake Paul taking this Joshua fight.
I mean, my estimations of Jake Paul would go through the roof if he signs to fight Anthony Joshua, because I just can't believe in my mind that he would do something like that. I mean, Gervonta was a smart one because of his size. Like, you know, I think actually he would have had a lot of success against Jake Paul, but the size is a problem. But this would just be, you know, like if Jake Paul was to take the fight with AJ, you'd really have to maybe carry his balls in a wheelbarrow on the ring walk, you know, because AJ wouldn't mess around in there, you know. So it would be huge, but nothing, you know, to tell you it's close, just a few conversations so far.
Damn right, if Jake Paul takes this fight, he's got some major balls on him. And I know people hate influencer boxing, but come on, he's not fighting an old, retired, past the prime MMA fighter. No, he's fighting a legit boxer who's massive, 6'5", 6'6", jacked, 240, 250 pounds, shredded, power puncher. Do we need to remind ourselves of what Joshua did to Francis Ngannou? Francis Ngannou was coming off a pretty good performance over Tyson Fury. He didn't get the win in that fight, but you could argue that he did actually win that fight. And Ngannou, throughout his entire MMA career, in 4-ounce gloves, very, very rarely got hit. He could take a punch. He's got a big, fat African head. Big, thick neck, traps, back. He just can't really be hit. And look what Joshua did to Ngannou. Out cold. So what do you think Joshua is going to do to Jake Paul? Jake Paul better start loading up on that Trenbolone. He needs to start eating Anavar like Skittles.
And this is, for Jake Paul, a much bigger fight than fighting Gervonta Davis. And I mean bigger, not just in the sense of who he's fighting and the size of AJ. I mean bigger in terms of numbers. Like Jake Paul versus AJ does way bigger numbers for me than Gervonta versus AJ. I think this actually does bigger numbers than Terence Crawford versus Canelo. I really do. I think this is, again, if it makes money, it makes sense. Let's talk about the negativity. And look, I get it. Like, if you're like me, I still believe, and look, some might say, well, AJ's just going to pick up, who knows what the numbers are, 80, 100 million, right? And then continue on his trajectory or career to potentially become a world champion again. I don't like this pause, if this is just me. I still believe that AJ can do damage in the heavyweight division. I believe that. Again, some people are like, no, he's done. Okay, cool. I believe that AJ can do damage again. I look at the heavyweight division and I remove Alexander Usyk from it, and I'm like, AJ can beat a lot of those guys. So I like the idea of AJ staying busy and having real fights against real heavyweights. So I'm not a fan of this pause, especially considering that we've not seen AJ in the ring since September 2024. It's a long time. It's a long, long time. So if AJ has this fight, we're not going to see AJ in the ring properly until the spring. A long, long time. If AJ was busy, and then had this fight in between, I guess I wouldn't be too mad with it. I get it, right? If someone knocks on your door and says, do you want to fight Jake Paul for 100 million? You're like, you'd be stupid to say no. No, I don't want that 100 million for what would be and will be.
All these guys, granted, Usyk, greatest amateur boxer at that weight class ever. Mm-hmm. I think it's going to be interesting, but I do think Jake Paul is in a good position.
The only fear is this.
I hate to give him credit.
If Jake Paul gets his block knocked off completely.
Yeah, very possible.
The Jake Paul experiment is over. It's a wrap. Because if you step into the ring, everybody thus far is wondering and has wondered, like, what would happen versus a legitimate boxer?
Yeah.
And in their relative shape. Not a 50-year-old Floyd.
Yeah.
Not a 60-year-old Mike. We've all asked ourselves, well, what happens if you fight a real fighter? The problem is, once you fight a real fighter and you get beat down, the hypothesis is gone. So now we don't need to wait to see the experiment. Y'all know what we do every year. We say the best college team could beat the worst NFL team.
Yeah.
And it's a fun debate.
Yeah.
Because if you don't really know ball, if you don't really know ball though, you'll be like, man, but if 10 players on Georgia would start for the Cleveland Browns right now. But if they actually